My name is Reuben Christian, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are well. This is Pioneer TV, but with a difference. Today is London Fashion Weekend special. I am here, baby. I am here to meet some fashion entrepreneurs that made their mark on fashion. Now, which way do I go? Tell me. This way. You sure? All right. First up, ladies and gentlemen, we have one of our very own Virgin Media pioneers. Her name is Jessica Anuna. She's the founder of a fashion and entertainment blog called AnunaRose.com. Check it out. She also, not too long ago, won lunch with the man himself, Mr. Box, Mr. Richard Branson, the guru. He gave us some advice. What did she do with it? Let's find out. Jessica Anuna, how are you doing?
I'm very well, how are you?
I'm great. It's good to be at London Fashion Week. Are you feeling it? You've been
I'm
here
feeling
before?
it. I've been here before, but I've never been to London Fashion Weekend, so it's good to be here.
It's a new experience, kind of.
Yeah.
Yes. Tell me about Anuna Rose.
Well, Anuna Rose is an online fashion site. We basically cover a lot of celebrity interviews, backstage access at fashion shows, fashion news, runway reports, and also fashion TV.
How do you find team members? How does that work? Do they come to you, or do you just go out and find them?
It's mostly through social networking. It's mostly through social networking and recommendations through friends. So, for example, I found a head of PR through a friend. I met at Richard Branson's house, actually. So.
Easy, I met at Richard Branson's house.
Yeah.
So you went there, didn't you?
Yeah.
How was it meeting Richard?
It was an amazing experience for me to obviously meet him, being such, a massive force in the business industry. He gave me a lot of advice, which was, important. But the one thing that stuck into my mind was always listen to people. Being a leader, being a good leader means listening to people and really taking on board everything people have to say. So,
in regard to entrepreneurs starting out within the fashion industry, what's some advice for them?
Probably to do as many internships as you can. Before I started Anuna Rose, I interned at a lot of different magazines, and I interned actually at the British Fashion Council at London Fashion Week last year. So, just really learn the industry inside and out before you, venture into such, a big project, and just really be sure that it's something you want to do, because once you're in, you're in. So,
how did you go about getting the interns though?
For getting the internships?
Yes, the internships.
Just through emails, really. Just being persistent and emailing editors, and for example, the people at the British Fashion Council had emailed the sales manager, and she said she was looking for a girl to do an internship. So that's how I got in there. And just being persistent, emailing as many people as possible, emailing Anuna Rose because we are looking for people, and that's it really.
Okay, excellent. So from one startup to someone that's been there, done it, and then done it again. We are meeting the archetypal self-made fashion entrepreneur, Mr. Wayne Hemingway, and seeing what advice he can depart to the younger generation. So what are you doing here for London Fashion Week today?
We've got a label called, a brand called Vintage. We have this thing called the Vintage Festival, which takes place every summer. This summer it took place across the river at the South Bank, and now we've got a little section of London Fashion Week that is vintage, and vintage plays a big role in fashion, obviously. It's a cool, wearing vintage clothes is a cool thing. Looking back at the history of fashion and reinterpreting it into modern day is a thing that designers do all the time, and it's sustainable.
Okay.
Not just buying new all the time, but wearing second-hand is a sustainable way of living.
In terms of fashion entrepreneurs, I have a quick question for you, Wayne.
Yeah.
What do they gain from coming to London Fashion Week or an event like this in general, London Fashion Weekend?
Yeah, well, if you can come here, you get a bit of inspiration to see what the design industry is like, which is important. You might get to see a catwalk show and see how catwalk shows are put on. But the main thing, if you are a fashion entrepreneur, is you've got to get out there and be seen and see. The best thing that you can do to learn as a designer is your eyes. You take things in, and hopefully, if you've got that creative brain, what you take in comes out into something that's individual. And we learned, myself and my wife learned, we didn't go to college to learn design. We started selling our own clothes on Camden Market when we were still teenagers back in 1980. And we learned by that. We learned by, facing up to customers. We learned from the whites of their eyes whether we're any good or not. You can soon tell if what you've designed is a load of rubbish by the look in their eyes. And that's how you learn. And we learned by travelling and by shopping and just by looking and by reading magazines. And sometimes it is the best way of learning, just getting out there. I am dressed 100% in vintage clothes, and I know I look smarter than you.
Thanks for that, Wayne. Now we switch roles as Jessica Anuna interviews me and my brother Reuben Christian, the founders of men's style website individualism.co.uk, which has now been rated as one of the most influential sites of its kind in the UK. Ooh, nice.
tell me a bit about Individualism and your website.
Individualism is a men's style website that's been running for 3 years now, and it's basically a creative collective of photographers, videographers, stylists, writers that all have an interest in men's style, and we produce original content and we try to keep it as entertaining as possible. We started to do a lot of video and original photo shoots and stuff like that, and it's pretty much, you know, the balls.
The balls were rolling.
Yeah.
Many balls were rolling, yeah.
Obviously, we're London Fashion Weekend. How do things like this affect your style and things you put on the website? Does it affect it directly, or you're not really into the whole trend, you know, setting and trend following?
I think as the whole blogosphere's moved on, there's some stupid stat like there's about 20,000 blogs created every day. So the whole point of trying to create original content is probably the only thing that's going to keep your site, you know, interesting from everything else that's out there. So London Fashion Week, I think every year you start to see more and more fashion bloggers. So we don't get involved too much in London Fashion Week, but a few of the guys and writers have gone out to kind of make contacts and just put the word out there on what we do. And when people come back to the site, they realise that we do create original stuff and stuff that's not too similar to the stuff that's out there. But in terms of the individuals that work for the team, so there's stylists and photographers, I think coming and being involved in the industry is always going to influence them. So they're going to see people here that are, you know, they may pick up one tip and then they can go off and style work that's not individualism related. How can I get that wrong myself? It's so bad. Because they all work in the industry themselves doing different things, and I think, yeah, whatever they can take from this week and put into their work themselves, they're always going to do that and find that interesting, I think.
And just when you thought it's over, it's not. It's never over. Last up, ladies and gentlemen, we listen to the wise words of two self-made, super hustling celebrity stylists and close friends of mine, mind you, Aisha and Louise.
London Fashion Week has been manic, really busy. We style quite a few celebrities that go to London Fashion Week, so we want to get them out to the shows and get there to ourselves. So it's always really, really busy.
What's been the key milestone that really set you guys on a path to where you are now? The main turning point for you?
I think it started with the work we've done with Labyrinth. We started styling him, and then he produced the #1 pass out. And once that took off, it sort of put our work on a mainstream platform, and then the phone just started ringing.
Okay, so how did you pick up celeb clients like Labyrinth and Cher Lloyd? I know you guys are styling Cher Lloyd now.
Initially we started with Labyrinth. That was our only celeb client, and he got signed to Psycho, and then we had to do a shoot. Really, I think this was just like our test shoot to prove
Audition, yeah.
our audition to sort of prove that, yeah, okay, because obviously the record label hadn't heard of us. We had no portfolio of famous faces that we could impress them with.
We had nothing. Just ourselves.
So then we did a shoot, got all the clothes and stuff. The label really liked it, and then
Now
they kept us there, yeah.
Do you have any advice for other people that want to get into fashion and styling like yourselves? Any key bits of advice?
I would say always just put your best foot forward. I mean, no one's born knowing how to do absolutely everything. And I think sometimes, even with us, because we don't come from a technically fashion background, but what we do, it's almost like sometimes you have to fake it to make it. And I think put your best foot forward at all times, put yourself out there, meet people, and stay motivated.
Were there any surprises during London Fashion Week?
There were some
Yeah.
surprises. That woman.
Oh God.
Okay.
There was this woman, and she was head to toe in like PVC, but I mean like literally she just had eyes cut out and a little tiny mouth cut out and a big old wig on top, like the hugest
It was a hot day
shoes.
too.
It was a hot day. She was just walking around making me feel sticky. It was crazy.
So London Fashion Week has come to an end for another year, but we all know those fashion entrepreneurs will keep their creativity flowing till next year. We've also learned that a simple vision and some passion is all you need to really get a foot in the door and actually start your creative journey within the fashion industry. We'll be back here next year, and who knows, it could be you we have the pleasure of listening to.
Lastly, tell us what you're wearing today individually. Individualism, individually.
Ooh, I know the camera.
She had to drop it.
Well done. I'm gonna put my leg up, right, as I do, These are Aaron's penny loafers. This is my dry skin. These are Aaron's jeans, which he just got from LA.
I love my brother.
This shirt is from
It's
TM
Aaron's,
Louis.
so
This
is it?
happens to be Aaron's. This, funnily enough, is not mine. This is Aaron's. This
So
blazer.
everything's Aaron's then.
Uh,
Except the pocket square and the watch.
And the pants. No, I'm not wearing
I've got
pants.
that
No.
pants. No, you don't ever wear pants.
So we
You
just
don't
don't
wear
wear
pants,
pants out here.